warm summer evening in the small farming town of Fruitland, Idaho, a 5-year-old boy walked out his front door looking for friends to play with. He never came back. For more than 4 years, his family has lived in agonizing uncertainty. His community has never stopped searching. And just weeks ago, on October 31st, 2025, prosecutors finally moved forward with murder charges, even though they still haven't found his body. This is the story of Michael "Monkey" Vaughan. Fruitland sits in the western corner of Idaho, a quiet rural community where neighbors know each other and children play freely in the streets. It's the kind of place where families put down roots, where trust runs deep. For Brandy and Tyler Vaughan, it seemed like the perfect place to raise their children. Their son Michael was a bright, energetic 5-year-old with blonde hair and sparkling blue eyes. Standing just 3 feet, 7 inches tall and weighing 50 pounds, he was small for his age but bursting with personality. His family and friends called him Monkey, a nickname that captured his playful, adventurous spirit. He loved Minecraft, always wore his blue Minecraft sweatshirt, and spent his days doing what every child in a small town does: riding his bike, playing with neighbors, being a kid. July 27, 2021 started like any ordinary evening at the Vaughan home on Southwest 9th Street. Tyler was in a back bedroom tending to their daughter and ordering pizza for dinner. Brandy had stepped away briefly. Michael, restless and eager to play, told his parents he was going to look for some of the older neighborhood kids. His mother watched him walk out the front door. It was around 6:30 in the evening, the sun still high in the Idaho summer sky. Michael went to one neighbor's house, then another, and another. He was seen walking down the street in his signature blue sweatshirt and black boxer briefs. And then, somewhere between 6:40 and 7 p.m., in that narrow 30-minute window, Michael Vaughan vanished. When Tyler came out to the living room, Michael was gone. At first, they thought he'd just wandered a bit farther than usual. But as minutes turned to hours and the sky grew dark, panic set in. By nightfall, Fruitland police were mobilizing a massive search operation. Officers combed through the neighborhood. Volunteers walked step by careful step through fields and nearby areas. Helicopters circled overhead. Professional search and rescue teams deployed specially trained K-9 units. Divers searched waterways. Hundreds of acres were meticulously searched multiple times, but there was no trace of the little boy everyone called Monkey. Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff made a promise to the community that would define the next 4 years. "You cannot take one of our most precious citizens," he said, "and ever expect us to stop." And they didn't. The case took a shocking turn in November 2022, more than a year after Michael's disappearance, when investigators received what Chief Huff called a credible tip. That tip led them to a home on Red Wing Street, less than half a mile from where Michael lived. The home belonged to a couple named Sarah and Stacy Wandra. For an entire week, in full view of the community and news cameras, law enforcement excavated the Wandras' backyard. Idaho State Police, Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, and cadaver dogs descended on the property. They removed and sifted through 250 yards of dirt. The cadaver dogs alerted to the possible presence of human remains. Investigators dug deeper. The entire neighborhood held its breath, but they found nothing. No body, no physical evidence, nothing. At a press conference following that grueling week of excavation, Chief Huff revealed what investigators had come to believe. "The remains of Michael Vaughan were not recovered," he said carefully. "We strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and deceased, and that his remains were buried and were later moved from the property." Moved. Someone had been there before the police. Sarah Wandra was arrested and charged with failure to report a death, a felony. But without a body, without concrete forensic evidence, the case against her crumbled. The charges were dropped in April 2023. Meanwhile, her husband Stacy Wandra was sent to federal prison in Arizona on an unrelated firearms charge. He was a convicted felon who'd been found in possession of a gun. Both remained suspects in Michael's disappearance, but neither was charged with his death. For 2 more years, the case languished. Michael's mother, Brandy, who now goes by Brandy Neal, never stopped advocating for her son. She kept his story alive on social media, organized vigils, pushed for new leads. "All we have wanted is for Michael to come home," she said again and again. Then, in early 2025, a startling piece of evidence emerged: body cam footage from the 2022 excavation, obtained through a public records request, showed Stacy Wandra on a FaceTime call with investigators. In the video, he's seen directing officers to specific locations in the backyard. That's literally the place that he was buried, he tells them, his voice matter of fact, like underneath the dirt mound area a little bit closer to the house. He claimed he watched his wife Sarah dig a hole and bury something wrapped in a black or white garbage bag. He insisted he wasn't involved. He said he wanted the family to have closure, but the location he pointed to yielded nothing. Investigators believe the remains had already been moved by the time they arrived. For months, Brandy wrestled with frustration and grief. The case seemed frozen. Stacy Wandra's federal sentence was ending. Time was slipping away. Then came October 31st, 2025. Piatt County prosecutor Michael Duke issued a statement that sent shockwaves through the community. "My office is moving forward with charges against the individuals involved in the disappearance and murder of 5-year-old Michael Vaughan," Duke announced. Stacy Wandra, just released from federal custody the day before, was immediately arrested on a new warrant. He was charged with first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, and destruction of evidence. After a robust investigation by the Fruitland Police Department and countless assisting agencies, Duke's statement continued, "We have unfortunately been unable to locate Michael to recover his remains. Our foremost hope has always been to recover Michael, but delays now risk further harm to his loved ones." The prosecutor made it clear they were moving forward with or without the body. "We believe we know the individuals involved," he said, "and are committed to pursuing justice." As of early November 2025, Stacy Wandra remains in custody in Arizona, awaiting extradition back to Idaho. His ex-wife Sarah has not been charged in connection with Michael's death, though she remains incarcerated on unrelated assault charges. 2 other men who lived with the Wandra at the time of Michael's disappearance have been named as persons of interest, but no additional arrests have been announced. The legal road ahead will be difficult. Prosecuting a murder case without a body is rare and challenging. The defense will argue there's no proof Michael is even dead, but prosecutors believe they have enough circumstantial evidence, witness statements, and forensic data to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Michael Vaughan was abducted and killed, and that Stacy Wandra is responsible. Brandy Neal's response to the charges was a mixture of relief and continued heartbreak. "We want justice," she wrote. "Michael will get his justice. We want Michael home, and we're never going to stop until we have Michael home." She recently underwent a life-saving liver transplant, fighting her own battle for survival even as she continues to fight for her son. Michael would be 9 years old today. His family clings to age progression photos that show what he might look like now, but they may never get to hold him again. They may never know exactly what happened on that summer evening when a little boy in a blue Minecraft sweatshirt walked out looking for friends. The community of Fruitland hasn't forgotten. Signs bearing Michael's face still dot the landscape of western Idaho. The reward for information stands at over $52,000, and Chief Huff's promise remains unbroken. Michael Vaughan's case is a haunting reminder that evil can hide in the most familiar places, that the people we pass on the street might harbor unimaginable darkness. But it's also a testament to the relentless determination of investigators who refuse to let a child be forgotten, and a family who will never stop searching for their son. Justice is coming. But for Brandy Neal and everyone who loved Michael "Monkey" Vaughan, it will never be enough. Subscribe for more meticulously researched cases from Crimes of the Century.